Hey, good morning, Huntsville. Welcome in on a Tuesday edition of Good Morning Huntsville. As always, we want to welcome you in and wish you a very wonderful and blessed morning as we get rolling here on May the 23rd, Brother Thompson. What's going on, man?
You know it, man. Living the dream this morning.
I love that, man. I love the energy, Whenever you walked in today, I was like, dude, I'm feeling pumped, man. Yesterday, if you heard yesterday, I kind of woke up and felt on this weird side of the bed. But then I said, not today, man. I'm not going to let that affect me. And then this morning, I didn't have that feeling. You know what it was?
What was it?
It was the DayQuil. I took a little extra boost of DayQuil this morning. Got me going,
really?
Man. Yeah.
Does it work that good?
It does, man. It like knocks everything out. So
you can get on with your day.
You can get on. I'm not a doctor, by the way. I don't want any body coming at me saying, Rob, but you know what? DayQuil works for me with the allergies for some reason.
Right, yeah. Poor air quality here lately. Don't know why.
That's right. Jason Thompson joining us here. He is our Tuesday Foundation 5 sponsor from Guardian Defense. We'll talk more with Jason. He's been gone the last 2 weeks. We didn't kick him off, and he missed us.
No, I just had to go over to Arizona, man. Mom needed a little bit of help, so Jason got on the airplane.
Yeah, and 4 a.m. airplane, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was a pretty early flight, and then coming home was pretty late. We got home at like 2:30 in the morning.
This is why we need that extended runway here in Huntsville. We had Greg Smith on earlier, and then somebody one day is going to bless Jason and I with a couple of private jet rides, and so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
So we'll figure out how to make that happen.
Yeah. It doesn't even have to be a jet, just an airplane.
Yeah, just a regular old two-prop, man. Let's roll. Let's go.
Let's go.
Well, Jason, again, joining us here. We want to welcome you and let us know what you're thankful for this morning. Always enjoy bringing you this show every single day as we highlight the good happening in our community. Guardian Defense, taking care of business, providing personal safety and many other avenues of with firearm protection and all those things. We'll dig into that a little bit later this morning and talk about what you've got cooking. Got some things going on here in the next weekend or so.
Yeah, a couple weeks. We've got some classes coming up and good opportunities for people that may want to hone their skills or learn new ones.
Yeah, so we'll be highlighting that as well. And I've been out to Jason's place, so I'll highlight that as well. Jason will talk about it. We are broadcasting live from our beautiful downtown square. This studio, as always, sponsored by Elliott's Jewelers. Please check them out online for all your custom jewelry and more. It's elliotsjewelers.com. We are also working in collaboration with Paul Oley of the Gallery. If you need custom framing, that's still a thing. Some people say, well, I don't know about framing's still a thing. People need stuff framed.
I mean, whether you have artwork or, family photos, they look so much better in a frame.
They do. So, and man,
better than the dollar store frames.
Yeah, that's right. The dollar store frames, man. You see I bought one of those back in the day. Paul, if you're watching, I bought it way before I knew you. But I cruised over to not here in Huntsville, but it was a dollar store, and the alignment was off. And it fell apart. They just used these little cheap tabs, and the thing fell apart.
Oh, yeah.
So
you get what you pay for.
That's right. No cheap tabs with Paul Oley. So go by and see him at the gallery. He will take care of you. Also custom photography, family portraits, and much more. Again, Paul Oley at the gallery. Well, Jason, here we are, man. You've been gone. I know we kind of segued in a little bit. You were in Arizona. I know helping out family. What was the trip like for you?
Oh, it wasn't bad. The weather was actually... I was surprised to get up to 60-degree mornings. Really and truly 60-degree mornings, and that lasted for all of 3 days. And then we were back up in 100-degree days.
Man, that Arizona heat, man, I was there last year with the WAC basketball or baseball tournament, and we even had a couple of basketball games in that area as well. And I'll never forget walking outside, and we were in the Phoenix area, and it's just that heat, man, hits you. And
you walk out the door, and it's
scorching.
It just smacks you in the face. And it's not the same kind of heat that we have here in Southeast Texas by any means. It's dry, but, man, it gets hot. Like, I don't like to go visit my mother in the summer. Like July, August, 120 degrees. You wake up in the morning, and it's 98 degrees. That's the low. Really? Yeah, it's like that out there.
And it's weird, too, because if it was, when we were there, I think one day the high was like 112, 113. Mm-hmm. And I remember I said, you know what, I'm going to walk out of the hotel, and I found a Chipotle down the street. And I ignorantly decided I was going to go walk to the Chipotle. The first sign that I should have known at, 6 o'clock in the evening and why nobody was out there walking around was because it was 113 degrees.
Yeah.
And so here's this out-of-town boy that had no clue, and I'm walking. I thought it was a ghost town, and people are looking at me weird when they're driving by. And I do get there, but, dude, I was about to pass out.
Yeah, it is way different weather, way different lifestyle, man. They start working like 4:30 in the morning out there during the summer. and the sun comes up about 4:30 in the morning.
Man, you got to wonder about folks that work in the HVAC business too in that area.
Oh man,
how do they do that?
I don't know. I think they take a lot of breaks. They have to go over to the truck and leave it running. I don't know.
That's why you're in the business you're in, and I'm in the business I am, because we're blessed. We don't have to climb up an attic. So if you have to climb up an attic, God bless you. Thank you for all that you do. But
that's it.
That's tough. We used to do low voltage wiring in my IT business, and so we'd get up and run cables, and it was the same type of deal. I mean, it does get super hot up here, and those attics get scorching hot. And we would do these appointments sometimes 6:30, 7 in the morning, because it was you don't want to be up there. 9 o'clock in the afternoon, man. It's already getting hot.
Yeah, 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock in the afternoon. Where's that at?
So yeah, it's already getting pretty hot. Rick Boning already chiming in this morning from Tomorrow's Promise. By the way, big business after hours happening tonight over at the Gibbs Education Center. We'll be there 5:15. If you can make it, come out and join us. Again, Tomorrow's Promise having their after hours. Hey, we got a special guest today, too, that's patiently waiting. We're going to bring her on here in about 4 minutes or so. But Miss Lisa Branch joining us. She is a board director with CASA, and Jason set that up, so appreciate it.
We were glad to get her to come.
So we'll be
glad she was available.
Talking about all the great things happening at the CASA organization. They do such incredible work, and Lisa will give us a little bit of her background and her history as well. So we're excited to have her on. We got a jam-packed show today, and Lisa walked in and we said every day this week, whoever the guest is, we've got you flowers this week. So Lisa wanted them, but we said, Lisa, we love you. We just can't let you take the flowers today. But in honor of Lisa, you're going to see some purple on the screen today because that's her favorite color. But thank you to Sweet Caroline and Leah Lineback for bringing us these beautiful flowers yesterday. They'll be with us all week.
Yeah, and they smell amazing.
Yeah, and you said that they make, I had it right here on you, Jason. That's kind of a, there's that single shot of Jason. Look at that, man.
I like that blocks the fatness.
So, yeah, well, it's going to be a lot of fun today. And again, appreciate Leah for bringing us these flowers. And by the way, I want you to know that you can chime in to win, as we're giving away prizes all week long. At the end of this week, we're going to be giving away this beautiful bouquet of flowers. All you have to do right now is just put a hashtag there on your screen for those of you that are watching live. Even if you're going back rewatching this later, just put a little hashtag Visit Huntsville TX. You can also put hashtag Good Morning Huntsville. Whatever you want to comment there, our system will pick that up. And then make sure to like this broadcast and share it as well. And you will automatically be entered to win this bouquet of flowers at the end of the week. We've been giving away a lot of prizes, man.
I've noticed that. So, you started that like about the time I left. Took my little 2-week hiatus from the show. I was only gone a whole week, but when you leave on Tuesday and you come back on Tuesday, you miss 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the same.
Well, it didn't feel the same. I was thankful. We had great guests on. Don't get me wrong. And the co-host who filled in for you. But, we started to get some rhythm going, Jason. And then I was like, man, what happened? Where's Brother Thompson? And I don't know why I call you Brother Thompson, man. I just like how it sounds.
That's cool. I answer anything as long as it's not late for supper.
There you go, man. Well, again, appreciate everybody chiming in. Already a lot of friends joining us. I mentioned Rick earlier, and I knew she would be chiming in. She always does every morning, and we appreciate it. There's our good friend Jerica from Fargo, North Dakota.
Yes, every day.
Jerica, I think you do that because you like us saying hello to you, and that's okay. So we appreciate you.
Hello, Jerica.
Yeah, good morning to you here today. And also, now that the show is starting to get a little more popular, you're going to notice every once in a while, for those of you that are on the video streams, you'll see some spam come in every once in a while. If there's any links that are up there that aren't from us, don't click on those. It's starting to happen because people are starting to recognize this show, and it's not anybody locally, but there's bots and all this technology jargon that's out there, and they look at analytics and they automatically observe this stuff, and they'll start putting all these fake links out there. So one thing about this show, we're never going to ask you to send us money. No. We're never going to direct you to tell that that somebody's grandson is trapped in the back of a car and we need money. That's never going to happen.
No,
so
not with this.
See some weird messages on there, just ignore those. As always, let us know what you're thankful for this morning. Waking up today, we always try to provide a little bit of inspiration and hope on this show. And so today, this morning, let us know what you're thankful for as you wake up this morning. You know what I'm thankful for? To live in this community, and I talk about it every day. But I was at the Huntsville High School Awards, and they had an awards banquet and also scholarship banquet last night.
How much scholarship money did they give out, Rob?
Man, check this out. I heard the number, and I said, did I hear this correctly last night? $4 million. It's hard for me to say. $4,575,000
in Walker County.
In Walker County for Huntsville High School. Huntsville High School. Given away. And so this morning, and awarded away. It's not just given. These students have to earn this through the hard work that they do there was over 230 kiddos that received these scholarships last night.
230.
230 scholarships.
Man, what a breath of fresh air.
Can you imagine that? And I'm not knocking where I grew up, man, but I've never heard of 230 kids plus receiving scholarships and awards. I mean, it is unbelievable
Out
number.
of one graduating class.
One graduating class.
That just shows a lot of work ethic on those students' behalf.
Yeah, and so, this morning, if you're waking up, man, I want you just to realize right now how blessed you are to be. If you're in Huntsville and in Walker County, realize how blessed you are to be in this area, because there are so many areas that aren't able to award that kind of funds and those kind of monies to kiddos. I mean, there was even a scholarship, one kid, $100,000. That's going to take care of everything. $100,000.
$100,000.
Can you believe that?
Man.
And
that kid is set for a great education.
Yeah, 100%. And there was other kiddos there that were getting $80,000 scholarships, and my jaw dropped.
$100,000 gets them probably halfway, 3/4 of the way through medical school, if that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Or a doctorate, or far beyond the bachelor's level education.
Yeah, so that's just
amazing.
Phenomenal to think about those kind of resources here in our county. So again, wake up this morning, be thankful that we live in an area that's able to provide for our kids. And it is truly a great place to be here in Huntsville, Texas. Friends, we'll step aside. We'll take a break. Miss Lisa waiting patiently behind the scenes. We will have her on when we come back. Stay with us. A lot more cranking this morning as you chime in. This is your show. It's Good Morning Huntsville. We'll be back here in just a few moments. Hey, good morning, Huntsville. Welcome back in to Good Morning Huntsville. I still like going back and forth. Potato, Huntsville.
Yeah, you'll get the Huntsville part.
We're getting it down. Jason Thompson joining us. He is our Foundation 5 Tuesday sponsor of Guardian Defense. Check them out online at guardiandefensellc.com. Some classes coming up this weekend. We'll talk to Jason in our final segment more about next week coming up.
Yeah.
So next week, I get it feels like June's almost here, and it is in 7 days. But yeah, next week is going to be those classes. So we'll have Jason talking more about that here a little bit later in the show. But I don't want to keep her waiting any longer. Miss Lisa joining us today. Lisa,
good morning, guys.
Good to have you on. You are from Learning RX, the owner of Learning RX here in Huntsville. And before we dig into more about that, and also a board member from CASA, just wanted you to have an opportunity this morning we'll talk about CASA, but kind of give us a little backstory of you, just how you got to Huntsville, Lisa, and good to have you on. Oh, and by the way, I always appreciate your energy, so thanks for being here.
Rob, you've heard this story, so that's why you want me to tell it.
That's right.
High school student, came for a UIL contest, sitting in a bus, and told my best friend and several of my high school friends, Jersey Village high school friends, if you're watching this morning, made it very clear that I would not do two things. One was marry a cowboy, and one was move to Huntsville, Texas. Guess what? Married a cowboy, moved to Huntsville, Texas. Here I am, and I would never turn around and go back. It's been the greatest ride. I love it here. Being part of this community, like you talked about, the scholarships for our students, just the community, the support that people give one another.
Right.
Jason, we've been friends for years. Rob, things are amazing in our community, the way people support one another, the way we come out for nonprofits, the way we come out for our children. This is just the best community ever.
Yeah, it's a great place to be. Again, Lisa Branch joining us here this morning on Good Morning Huntsville. We've been wanting to have you on for a while, and I appreciate Jason reaching out to you. You guys had crossed paths. Where was it? That just recently, wasn't it the award ceremony, the Reader's Choice Awards? Did y'all see each other there?
Yes,
Absolutely,
we
did.
We kind of finalized coming on at the Reader's Choice Awards.
Yeah. So it was cool to be there and just to experience that. And then Jason said, hey, I've got a great guest. And Lisa, you and I just talked a week ago. And, I've known you for several years, but I've never had a chance to sit down and just really hear your story. And that was the first thing you told me is you said those two things that you just said. It's funny how God works, because whenever we think, I know as a kid when I was growing up, I said, as soon as I get 18, I'm leaving Georgetown and I'm never coming back. Well, I left for 6 months, and guess what? I showed back up and had a business there for 14 years.
Well, I'll tell you, I raised my kids here, and it is the community to be a part of. It does, Jason and I have known each other for probably 25, 30 years now. And,
pretty close.
People are tight here. They help you. They help you with your children. They help you with your life. They help you just to make the best kind of life you could possibly want for yourself.
When you talk about people helping you, I don't know if you've heard the story with Jason and I, though, but whenever I first moved here, he offered to help me. He came all the way to Georgetown, brought their trailer, helped us move.
Yes, we did.
And he has helped me move 5 times.
That does not surprise me one bit. He's done some of those same similar things for me.
So we've joked around, Lisa, and we're going to, Jason and I, it's going to be his business, but it's going to be Guardian Defense Moving Company.
Yes.
So that's the next one
it's
coming
not.
up.
I don't like to move.
No.
That is not my cup of tea.
That's right. Well, again, Lisa Branch joining us, also the owner of Learning RX. I want to give you an opportunity just to plug Learning RX. I think what you do is incredible. I've been able to learn more about your business. Tell us a little bit about Learning RX this morning.
Well, it's cool when you were talking about the students receiving scholarships and all, because we've just gotten word that several of our students were a part of that ceremony last night. And so, children come to us who have struggles, who aren't learning as efficiently or as easily as they should be. And also those students who want to excel and just want to push past some of their limitations, because we are a limitless society and we are going to help our children to be all that they can be. And so we are here to serve our community, to help, whether it's a child with dyslexia, a child with the goal of getting into a university and getting a scholarship, whatever it is that child might want. But we also serve adults, business brain, doctors who have to stay on the cutting edge of science, adults with COVID brain, any of those types of things.
Yeah, I think it's great. I know that you're here this morning to talk about CASA, but I did want to give you an opportunity just to plug Learning RX, because, there's issues that I'm having. I told you about it. Just my short-term memory is absolutely terrible. I should remember who was the co-host for Jason, and Jason even told me, he's like, oh, it was Robin and it was Deanna. And and here I am like still fumbling around with that. Love you, Deanna. Love you, Robin. But
part of that is because you have a file cabinet.
Yeah.
But you have to take information and put it in the file cabinet rather than just throw it on top or underneath or beside it. And as business people, we get overly, our hands get full, our brain gets full, and we just get too much and we don't take the time to categorize it. So we can help with that.
I think you and I were joking around, when I saw you one day, because I always have stuff kind of everywhere. And I think I told you that Fortune 500 CEOs, none of their desks are clean.
That's right.
But unfortunately, our brains can't work like that. Like, our brains do need to be clean.
They get on overload. It's not. They just get on overload. And when you have so many things that you don't put away correctly in your brain, then you can't find it. And it's still there, but you get frustrated and it takes you a long time to grab that information. And, it's whether you are looking for somebody's name or if it's a fact that you need in order to perform your job or what have you. It can become very frustrating. And, what happens is people begin to isolate because they can't remember those names or those facts. And they begin to say, something's wrong with me, so they don't want to put themselves out there. And that's what we see a lot of times, especially with our aging population.
Again, Lisa Branch joining us this morning. She's the owner of Learning RX, but kind of want to shift gears and talk more about CASA. You're a board member on the board of directors with CASA. Had a privilege to talk to Kim over the years, and Emily and so many others, Samantha, that are involved, but did not have a chance to highlight CASA yet here on the show. And so wanted to chat with you today. CASA of Walker, San Jacinto, and Trinity Counties. It's an organization, and you've heard me say this on this show, that we wish didn't have to exist, but it does. Children need to have a voice.
They really do.
They absolutely do. Tell us a little bit more about CASA, Lisa.
Well, CASA's my heartbeat because, children is what I do, and it's what I've done my entire life. And, such a blessing to be around a child and to be able to make their lives better. CASA is court-appointed special advocates, and what that means is that every child in our community, in any one of those 3 counties, who is removed from their home through no fault of their own, is appointed an advocate who stands for them. That advocate is allowed information that most of us aren't, because they are court-appointed, and they can help make determinations for that child. They are a support system. They help with education. They go visit in the schools. They visit at the home. They help determine what is best for that child. And what we see so many times is just a relationship that's built, and that CASA is sometimes the only steady person throughout their lives, because these kids can be moved from, home to home sometimes, quite often. And so that CASA is kind of their lifeline. And being able to support those advocates, I'm not an advocate. I don't feel like I can do that. That's not my calling. But my role is to help support them and to help make their role possible.
Yeah, CASA is an incredible organization. I got to know CASA a little bit and just how the organization works through a lady named Marissa Austin in Georgetown. Coach Joe Austin, he's a Division III football coach there for Southwestern University, and Marissa was the director of the CASA there in Williamson County. And so got to learn a little bit more, and then when I got plugged into Huntsville, really learned more about it and just the importance of it. These children need a voice. They need to have somebody. That's why they stands for court-appointed special advocates. Is there children that go through situations to where they don't have a CASA, not because of y'all's organization, but just because there's not enough help or there's not enough support?
So right now, we are serving somewhere around 90 children. It fluctuates from day to day, but somewhere around 90 children, and we have 46 advocates at the moment. Now, some of those cases have siblings, so it's not that we have 46 kids without advocates, but we are short by 10 right now. We have 10 children that do not have advocates assigned to them, just simply because the caseload is heavy. And as we come into the summer, we see that increases oftentimes. So we could use some help. But not everybody's called to be a CASA advocate. I'm not an advocate.
Well, what if people want to find out about that? How do they go about that?
So we have what's called CASA 101. You can call the CASA office at 294-CASA. No, that's not right. 291-CASA. And you can find out about CASA 101. We're having one May the 31st at noon. It's via Zoom. You can find out all about the different ways that you can serve, whether that be an advocate or if it be in another position like a board director or a volunteer. But the CASA advocates go through a training program that we put on right here in Walker County, and we enable them to learn all the laws that they need and the rules and regulations, as well as how to support that family in the best way, or that child in the best way.
You brought up a really good point, because while you were chatting, Lisa, and again, we're talking this morning here with Lisa Branch. She is on the board of directors with CASA, also the owner of Learning RX here in Huntsville. But while you were talking, my mind was thinking, man, do I have to have legal experience to represent these kids? And it sounds like you guys, as you just said, provide the training for that.
Absolutely, we do. We have Janet Davidson, who many of you know here in town, and she is a powerhouse of information, and she makes sure that every advocate is not only trained, prepared, but has the support that they need. We have advocate supervisors who make sure that everything is moving in the right direction, that those advocates know what to do and how to do it.
It's an important organization here, and not just in San Jacinto, Walker. And that's the thing, too, that I wanted to mention is this CASA supports so many areas, not just Walker County, but San Jacinto, Walker, and Trinity County as well. So that's a really big area that has to be covered.
It is a very large area, and we have representation on our board from all 3 of those areas, as well as, we're trying to be in those communities and involve the people there so that we can, use those vital resources called humans.
Yeah, absolutely. You can learn more information about CASA online at casaofwalkercounty.org. Again, it is casaofwalkercounty.org. Here in a moment, too, while we're chatting, for those of you that are on the video stream, I'll be able to show the website. how did you get plugged into CASA? I know you said that it's your heartbeat, Lisa, and it's so important. We appreciate what you do. How did you find out about it? How did you get involved?
Well, obviously, as a business owner, I was involved in looking for a group that I wanted to be connected with. And Kim Weezer came to my office one day and she said, I think you'd be a great guardian. And I'm like, well, what's a guardian? And it was simply a program where we could support financially these students or these children. And I did that, and in the process of doing that, I found out more and asked questions and then said, where's my place? And it took me a while to find my place because I did not feel that I was called to be an advocate. I didn't. It wasn't the role that I saw myself in. And so then I was like, well, what else can I do? I can volunteer, and I can be there for different events and things like that. And, many hands make light loads. You may have heard that. I have a pastor that has said that for years and years. And just the ability to help was what I was looking for. And then when I spoke with Kim further and began to learn more about CASA and what they do, it was obvious that that was where God was leading me to put my volunteer time in.
Looking at the website here, and again, you can go to casaofwalkercounty.org, ways to get involved. You can volunteer, and I like what it says. Volunteers are everyday people. Maybe you're listening this morning or later at a later date, going back on the podcast or watching the video, but hey, teachers, business people, retirees, I think that's huge. The community I came from was one of the fastest growing retiree communities, neighborhood called Sun City. We had a lot of CASA advocates out at Sun City.
So we have advocates that are 18 years old, okay? But they're
18?
responsible adults. Yes, they've
Really?
proven themselves in our community. But we also have advocates that are 80 years old. And obviously they are the heartbeat of what's happened here in town.
Right.
And so to see that wide range of people who can serve in different capacities. Rob, one of the things we really need, though, is we need men. We have about half of our children are boys, and we only have about 10 advocates that are men.
Oh, goodness.
We need men to be role models for these children who, again, through no fault of their own, have been removed from their home. And we need men in their lives. We need good, strong, solid citizen men to show them that men can be good people.
There may be someone...
a role model for them.
Yeah, there may be someone, today, and I always say that because I feel like this is speaking to somebody now, that there may be a man out there watching or listening saying, I've been feeling a pull to be involved in something, and this could be that calling for you. As you just heard Lisa saying, hey, we need more men involved. I do want to mention something, too, just knowing the background of the organization, working with children. Very safe organization with the way things are going. They don't just allow anybody to come in and work with these kids. A very exhaustive and extensive background checks are taking place, training. You don't just hop in today and then tomorrow now you're working with children. There's a lot that you got to do.
So I'm not even an advocate, okay? And just to be on the board of directors, my background's education. I had to have all of those kind of qualifications. I had to have all the fingerprints and all that for being in education. Well, when I became a CASA, I had to have even more. So it was startling to me that, yes, I had to go through the entire process, re-fingerprinted, retested, all the things had to happen. And I think even on a more extensive basis. It was interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing, too, is you continue to work with these children. You said, they need role models, and that's why there's a huge need right now for men to step up and be involved as well. But really, when you start talking about the volunteers, and I'm looking at this, some of what you'll do as a volunteer, helping out as an advocate, researching case records, speaking to each person that's involved in a child's life. That can include family members, teachers, doctors, lawyers, social workers, monitoring the progress of the child and family throughout the case. And so you really, truly get very connected to these kids and to their families, and they latch on to you because they need that person to represent them and to speak for them.
They truly do. It becomes a relationship. And I will tell you that we have story after story after story of the way advocates have jumped in and helped children, whether it's finding them a bed so that they have a place to sleep, or if it's helping them to make sure they get across that graduation line. Our advocates are there for them, and it's exciting to me because every month as a board director I get to hear those stories, and just seeing how our advocates, because they are court appointed, have access to information that no one else would have. They are able to then help that child in a way that most of us couldn't. Just being a neighbor or a person involved, a teacher even involved in their life, doesn't have access to all of those records and all the history that child has gone through.
Yeah, and there's a lot, and we've mentioned earlier just about some of the, and I'm just, again, looking through a lot of the website here, 21 or older, I believe.
Typically 21 or older. We do have an 18-year-old right now, and I'm not really sure how that exception got made, but I do know we do.
But there are some exceptions there. Successfully passed screening, we talked about that earlier. And that initial training, and this is what is so important too, because it's not just go in and sit down for 1 or 2 hours. It's 40 hours of initial training, and then 3 hours of courtroom observation, and 12 hours of continuing education. So you truly get to understand how this process works with these children.
And those are minimal, because the majority of our advocates want to be so strong in what they do that they continually come in for additional training. We have workshops available for them. We put on a amplifying advocacy conference every year and bring in people from all across the area so that they can learn how to be better at their job and how to serve these children to the best of their ability.
And on the website, again, CASAofWalkerCounty.org, you can find the training dates. They make it easy for everyone to be involved. So whether you are someone who has time during the week or you've got time on the weekend, these classes are offered and the trainings are offered throughout the week and on the weekends as well. And you can find all that information at CASAofWalkerCounty.org. Again, Lisa joining us here, Lisa Branch. She is a board member with CASA, and appreciate your time. Some cool events that happen. I mean, one of them is the Christmas in July. I always enjoy that event.
It's coming. It's just around the corner. In fact, our table sales opened up last week, so we've got a few of those left. We've got a few sponsorships left. But if you've ever been there, and Rob, I know you've emceed for us, it is a great time. We do. This year we're going to play 15 games of bingo. We're going to do it a little differently so that it still flows and you're not there all night. But we give away some really awesome prizes. We've got a TV, we've got a fire pit, we've got a meat package, we've got tickets to the Astros games.
Oh, some great prizes.
We've got all kinds of prizes. We've got a margarita machine. We've got...
Wait, as a prize, a margarita?
Oh, yeah. These are game prizes.
We need that thing for here.
Yeah. Absolutely. Wouldn't that be fun? But, yeah, we have... that's my job all year long. I shop for the best prizes for those games. We have a raffle. We have our children's art auction. So children who are in the care of, in foster care, will make art pieces, and we get to auction those off. Kevin McMillan's our auctioneer. He's done that for years and just does an excellent job. We can't say enough about Clint McLaren over at Wiesner. He's always our presenting sponsor. We're so thankful for him. But yeah, we have a silent auction. We have a children's tree where you can sponsor a child.
Really?
We have just all kinds of activities, but it's fun. It's all your food and your drinks and just a lot of fun and fellowship in our community.
Yeah,
so do they call the same number if they want to buy a table?
They can call that same number to buy a table. They can reach out to me. If you know me, you can call me on my cell phone. You can call my office. We will make sure you get hooked up because we want you there. We have a few sponsorships left, as I said, for some games and a raffle situation that we're looking for.
So business owners can reach out as well.
Yeah, but I mean, we're down.
Or individuals, just whoever.
Anybody who wants to help children.
Awesome.
Oh,
That's the bottom line. If you want to help kids, we can plug in.
I will tell you that, yeah, you had mentioned the Christmas in July when we talked about it, and the bingo event is so much fun. I was blessed to MC that. I think you guys had asked me, Emily had reached out and said, hey, are you interested in, now that you're back.
We're planning on you being there. I just wasn't sure if you had committed yet.
He's putting it in the phone right now for
So
you.
I have it down on Friday, July the 21st.
That's right.
The only bugaboo to this, possibly, is baby Caden is expected to be here on July the 15th. And so we'll play it by ear. but I am.
We need to know that, don't we?
Yes.
But I am planning on being there, and of
Well, I will
course,
tell you, Rob, that would be
we'll
an
do it.
exception to the rule, so I can get it. We will have a backup for you, okay?
yeah. But it is, friends, and listen, if you haven't been out there, it's a lot of fun. It's held over at the fairgrounds, I believe, and if I, again, I need to come by and see you because I should know this. But it is so much fun. Folks get involved, and I mean, just a tremendous job too. You guys have raised so much funds over the years through this event. It continues to grow.
Again, a community that gives to children. Yes, we do the work, and you have to do the work in order to make it happen. This year's theme is backyard pool party. So you're going to see lots of floats and lots of barbecue kind of motifs and stuff. But we do the work. The community does the giving.
When I think of the backyard pool party, I'm looking out at Jason's big truck over here that's outside the window. Jason, we need to put a tarp in the back of that bed, man, and just fill that thing full of water. I've always wanted to do that, man.
We'll do
that
that
would
one
be
of these
amazing,
days.
wouldn't it?
Yeah, so that'll be Jason and I's backyard pool party. We'll just roll up right there and we'll have it right in front of the
There
event.
we go.
Well, again, Lisa, appreciate
go.
all you do. Just tremendous. There's so many folks in the community that are involved. That's why we started this show. We want to highlight all the good things happening here in Huntsville and also the great nonprofit organizations. That's why Jason hopped on and said, man, I want to help promote nonprofits in our community.
Absolutely.
And I think it's tremendous when you start realizing how much people do give back, especially for our youth. As we came on talking about those scholarships earlier
Right.
today, you're invested in children, and not just children through Learning RX, but also adults. But there is this commitment to community that is unreal, that is unlike anywhere else here in our lovely town. CASA is one of those organizations. I can see your passion. You're always smiling when you talk about it. It's amazing to see that.
Well, Rob, one thing that I would say is in this community, you get what you give, okay? And if you get involved and you are a part of our community and you're serving in some capacity, whether it's CASA or Safe House or you had the FCA on the other day, any of those organizations, you are going to reap much more than you sow, okay? Because the warmth of your heart, the encouragement that you feel from other people who you're serving next to, and just seeing the blessing that you can become because you unite with our community makes all the difference.
It does. And Lisa, you've been here. You've seen it. The growth is happening, but it's cool. And I think you and I may have touched on this the other day when we were chatting, but as the growth happens, the culture of Huntsville remains intact. And I think that's what's so important. That's not being left away,
Right.
Now I am seeing a lot of great organizations move in, but what I am seeing is these organizations move in is that they get involved immediately.
Yes.
Yes, that's important.
So it's great. And Jason, you've seen that. I mean, you've been here for a while too,
Right.
and you know how important it is to be involved.
It is. You do reap what you sow in this community. I mean, we are forming our future leaders. These are going to be the people that are going to be our leaders when we're retired, hopefully.
Yeah.
If that ever happens.
I tell parents all the time, these are my kids. They may be my doctor someday. I need them to be able to read their writing,
There you go. I've yet to meet a doctor that can write legibly as it is.
That's right. It's funny. I had a doctor, and I felt so bad because I was not able to go to his memorial service. But Dr. Benold was a staple in the community I grew up in. In fact, he was supposed to deliver me, and he told my mom, "Don't worry," because he was going on vacation. He told my mom, "Don't worry, Shirley. I'll be back in plenty of time." Well, he didn't. He was gone whenever I came, and so Dr. Pierce delivered me. He was playing soccer with some kids in town, came running to me. My mom said the story was he came running in there to deliver me, and he was still like in his soccer shorts delivering me. But I wrote Dr. Benold a handwritten note several years ago just telling him how much I appreciated him and what he did for our family, and he hand wrote me a note back and said this was great. Because we can sit on a computer and write, but that doctor handwriting I'll never forget. I did have to decipher it.
That's right.
So, well, Lisa, before we let you go, just any final comments, and Jason, if you have any final questions for Lisa as well.
I don't have any questions. I think she covered everything.
Well, Jason, thank you for inviting me to be on the show.
It was a pleasure to have you.
Well, thank you. Well, when we talk about community and things, you opened a business here, and you immediately got involved. You
Right.
immediately started helping. Not that you didn't before.
No.
Before you helped individuals, but
Right.
now it's neat to see as you're moving into just the different organizations and
Right.
things and part of those things. So again, I think everybody has a place, and you just have to find yours. And when you find it, go get it.
I was thinking yesterday when I was driving, because I've heard so many wonderful quotes, like you just said. Every day there's a new quote. It'd be cool, man. Put together like a little store for Hello Huntsville, and we're going to have T-shirts that have those quotes with your name.
Yeah, there we go.
And then that money we'll donate it to the foundation, because we're working on putting together
Let's
a
do it.
foundation to give back to the community. So
Let's do it.
I love
Works
that.
for me.
Hey, and we know somebody that can do that too.
We do. We got somebody in our Tuesday group that does
Yes.
shirts, so
There you go.
we'll figure
There
that
we
out.
go.
Lisa, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Been a
Rob.
privilege. Yeah,
Thanks,
it's so great
Jason.
to have
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Appreciate you both.
Once again, that's Miss
Take care.
Lisa here joining us. We'll step aside. We'll take a break. We've still got another segment coming your way as we talk more with Jason and great things happening here in Huntsville. Stay with us. It's your show, Good Morning Huntsville. Hey, welcome back in. Thanks for joining us here on Good Morning Huntsville. Great show this morning. Thank you so much, Jason, for lining that up with Lisa. Just awesome to hear her story.
Yeah, to hear her story and to learn more about CASA for those of us that, like myself included, that didn't know that much about it.
Yeah, it's just one of those organizations, that has done so much for youth. And there's kids out there, and that's the point that I want to get across. And she hit the nail on the head, that there are some kids out there, and I'm not putting down families, but there are some kids that are just growing up in tough situations.
There really are.
They may have a mama or a daddy that either isn't there or just doesn't show them that affection and love that kids need. And that's the reality of it. We were, and I won't dig into the full details, but Bridget and I were leaving church on Sunday. And, walking out of church, we witnessed a young lady, just going off on her child. And,
really?
And coming out of church, you would think, man, especially at Lakewood, we go to a church where everybody's all happy, everybody's
Right.
upbeat and positive. And we were coming out of Lakewood, and this lady was just, and I understand, like, getting frustrated with your kids, but I'm talking about using language that I especially wouldn't see coming out of church.
Especially right after church.
And the first thing that you want to think is like anger of just like, man, why are you treating your child like that?
Well, there may be something underlying there.
And you're 100% right. And it's because that young woman was also probably raised in an environment like that. Mm-hmm. And so she doesn't know any better.
There you go.
And you can't, as much as you want to get upset, yeah, it does upset you, but you got to be careful because you don't know what people have been through.
No, you really don't.
But here's the kicker, though. The kids are innocent, and they don't need to be treated that way.
Right.
And
that's why they have organizations like CASA.
100%, man.
For those kids that are in a situation that's out of their control, so they can get the help, get the assistance, have someone to show them that there's a different way to do things.
That's right, man. Well, again, Jason Thompson is joining us. He is one of our Foundation 5 sponsors here on a Tuesday. Glad you're back, man. We missed you.
I am, too. I'm glad to be back in town. Arizona was fun, but I was ready to come home.
Yeah, this is home, man. This is where it all is. Jason is the owner of Guardian Defense. We are broadcasting live from our studio here in downtown Huntsville that is sponsored by Elliott's Jewelers online at elliotsjewelers.com. Man, I got to ask you, you're in a business that people need security and protection. When I first got to know you, Jason, you came in and just had this amazing presentation on personal security, being aware of your surroundings. We've mentioned that on the shows in the past. But you've got some big events, not this weekend, but the following weekend coming up. Tell us what you got cranking.
We've got a couple classes coming up to, help people out if you want to gain those skills. Because guys, let's be honest. It's your responsibility for your safety and your family's safety.
Yeah, and tell us about those 2 classes, though, because you've got one on a...
One's on the class on Saturday is the NRA Basic Pistol course. So that course is designed for anyone from a new shooter that's maybe a new gun owner and they want to learn the proper way how to use their gun, in a safe manner, to someone that wants to, improve or hone their shooting skills.
So you can get all that information. Jason's got it on his website for contact information at guardiandefensellc.com. And
feel free to give me a call.
What's that number? I know you don't mind giving it out.
936-293-0364. I'm here to answer your questions, guys.
So there, I just popped it up on the screen for you.
Throw it out there.
936-293-0364. And I want to encourage folks, if you're watching this morning, maybe you've had that pull to say, I want to get some more training. I want to learn how to protect my family, how to be safe, not be scared of using a firearm. I'll be honest. I'm a guy, and I'm sitting here going to be honest with you. The first time I ever held a fire, I was scared. I was nervous. I didn't know what I was doing.
It can be a very nerve-wracking thing, and we try to do it in a non-stress environment, guys. If you don't know, you don't know. And the best thing that you can do is invest in yourself so that you learn the right way.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for.
And Jason will help you with that. Lisa chiming in. She was just on the show. She chimed in saying, "Good morning, Huntsville." We appreciate you, Lisa, for being on a few moments ago. And it's one of those things, Jason, that when I'm around you and your family and out at your place, I feel comfortable. I don't feel nervous. I feel like I'm around experts who know what they're doing and who are going to teach me the right way to handle things. I wouldn't go with
expert because there's always someone a little bit smarter. But we can get you started, guys, okay? I try to learn some new stuff every day. I'm not the best, but I try really hard to get there.
You're pretty darn good, Jason. He's being humble is what the problem is.
It's not that. I'm just being honest, guys.
So, again, Jason Thompson here of Guardian Defense joining us this morning. He is our Tuesday Foundation 5 sponsor. Sign up for those classes. We put the number up on the screen a few moments ago. Again, if you're going back listening on the podcast audio format, 936-293-0364 is where you can go and call Jason to get more info. I wanted to mention, too, something that has kind of been bugging me out here on this show is, we broadcast this through my personal Facebook. Right. We do it through the Hello Huntsville Facebook page. We do it through Huntsville, Texas News and Events, which is a group we started 4 years ago. It's grown to almost 9,000 members, by the way, which is great. But I don't see the comments anymore from those of you that are joining on News and Events. And so I pulled it up on my phone. And if your name isn't popping up, so I don't see it on our main interface, but I'm going to acknowledge Melissa Barham saying, "Good morning, gentlemen." Leah Linebeck, who's providing these beautiful bouquet of flowers.
Aren't they pretty?
Sweet Carolines. She said, "Good morning. Glad y'all like them." Stephanie Pitts is joining us saying good morning. Melissa, by the way, has entered the contest to win the flowers. She's the only one that's entered. That's the only one that we're seeing so far.
Melissa's the only one?
And
that's pretty good odds.
Yeah, you got pretty good odds right now, Melissa. But we are putting it all together. We're going to announce the main winner at the end of Friday. To be entered to win these flowers, all you got to do, hashtag comment out there, Good Morning Huntsville, visit Huntsville TX, whatever you want to do as far as a comment with a pound sign, and then like and share this broadcast. Stephanie Pitts over at Advantage Specialties. Good morning, Stephanie. Her son got a scholarship last night, so congratulations.
Awesome.
My beautiful one, Bridget, is joining, saying good morning with a little sunshine.
There you go.
Hey, look, there's our friend Sherry McAdam also watching this morning.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
What's Blaine doing this morning?
Yeah, what's Blaine up to this morning, Sherry?
Is he even up yet?
Yeah, he's up. He's up all the time. Tammy also joining in. She heard what we just said, by the way, and she has now entered the contest. So, Melissa, you got someone there against you. Tammy's also entering the contest now as well.
Okay. So you still got a 50-50 shot, Melissa.
Got a 50-50 shot, Melissa, but it does add up throughout the whole week. So that's what we do here on the show is we promote and give away things. We're adding more content to the website. A lot of events are coming in, and Leah has submitted a lot of her events and the workshops that are coming up. Make sure to follow Sweet Carolines on Facebook. She's got some really cool workshops that are coming up. And, Jason, we need to get your LTC classes up there, man, so people know what's going on through our website.
Yeah, the license to carry is a great option for those in Texas. You don't have to have a license to carry a handgun in Texas anymore. They passed that state law, but there are some pretty good advantages to having the license to carry. You can carry in more places legally. A lot of people don't know that if you carry it without that license in the wrong place, you could wind up in a little bit of trouble and lose your ability to own guns.
There are places, and if you can educate me this morning on it, there are places that have the signs that say, like, I mean, can you carry anywhere in any place, or is it up to the business to say, like, you can't have that?
It's actually up to the business. They actually get to decide what you can do inside their business. The state does have some requirements for signage for those that are carrying with a license. If they don't want you to carry a certain way, they can post specific signs, usually with 30-06 and 30-07. They do have a 30-05 sign, which is for the people that don't have a license that are choosing to carry, which is fine. Okay. The other thing is, though, without the license, if someone's carrying without a license, there is really no specific sign that's required. If they put a little "No Gun Ghostbuster" sign up, you probably shouldn't go in that business.
Yeah. So there you go. Jason will tell you what's going on, and he'll keep you up to date with how to protect you and your family. Again, GuardianDefenseLLC.com is where you go. GuardianDefenseLLC.com is the website to go to, and you can find out more information there.
We're just here to serve you guys. We want you and your family to be safe. That's what we want. We don't want you to be a victim, and that's what we try to teach people.
I think the presentation that you did when I first met you several years ago, I think it'd be cool to, if you still have a copy of that, and maybe we can walk through that presentation on a future show.
Yeah, or over a couple of shows maybe.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
I've got that presentation. I'm working on doing a couple of those for free. Trying to get something set up where you can come out and, it's just opening up your mind to some of the bad habits each and every one of us have that can cause us to be unsafe.
Yeah, it's things that you've taught me that I've never. You always mention, like, be aware of your surroundings. A while back I was coming out of a business, and nothing bad. It wasn't, but I am more aware now. Even simple things like yesterday I'm
getting fuel.
Yeah, getting fuel, because you see videos on the internet of people just running up and carjacking people. One guy had a really good plan. Jason, I don't know how you feel about this. I would have never thought of this. I don't know if you've seen the video. He's pumping the gas,
and the van pulls up.
There's a van that pulls up. He takes the actual pump and starts spraying the guys with the gas.
Oh yeah.
Would you recommend that?
Probably not the safest thing to do, but you know what? Here's the thing.
Man.
It worked.
And he was aware of his surroundings.
He did. He noticed them coming up when they jumped out. He grabbed the first available thing to defend himself. Okay?
And it was the gas.
It was the gas.
He started spraying those dudes with gas, man.
Have you ever smelled gas?
Oh, it's terrible.
I mean, you get it on your skin. It can irritate you, your skin. And not only that, guys, it's not the liquid that's the problem. It's the vapors that'll blow you up.
Yeah. Well,
so
that
1
dude,
gallon of gasoline is equivalent, if it's vaporized properly, guys, 10 sticks of TNT.
That's nuts. We had a fire marshal, I remember when I was in high school, and he brought in a lead pipe or an iron pipe, and he did a experiment or a test to show us just how potent it is. He put 1 drop of gasoline and then lit it, and that thing just, boom, sounded louder than a shotgun.
I had a similar experience when I was in the fireman's training school at A&M. They did that as part of the fire science training. He put, I think 5 drops out of a dropper, shook it up, and dropped a cigarette in there that somebody had lit. And it literally, put that cigarette in pieces into the ceiling tiles.
Yeah.
Of course, it scared the heck out of the guys that were asleep in class, too. That was pretty funny.
It's pretty serious stuff. We'll step aside.
Right.
We'll take a break, Jason. We'll come back here in about a minute, and when we come back, we'll talk about what is the National Day of as we wrap up today.
I don't know. What is it? We need to look it up and see.
I don't know either. So we're gonna look it up. We'll have it for you. Stay with us. We'll continue to highlight all the good things happening here in Huntsville when we come back. This is your show. It's Good Morning Huntsville. Thanks for waking up with us. Hey, friends, welcome back at it here. It is 8 o'clock. If you were supposed to be at work at 8 o'clock, you're late. Don't tell them that you're watching this show.
No, definitely not. That's probably not a good excuse.
May not have. I always heard that funny joke on our local radio station growing up. There was a lady there that would always say, it's 8 o'clock. If you were supposed to be at work, you're probably fired. So there
Fired?
you go. Yeah, you're probably
on the first attempt?
Yeah, you're probably fired if you're supposed to be at work. I always told my employees
if you're late, bring breakfast.
Yeah, bring breakfast. That'll get you out of it. There was a teacher, and she's retired now, and I'll never say her name on air because I don't want her to ever get in trouble for this. But it was funny because there was times as a senior that I knew I could get away with not going to class. Mm-hmm. I'm just being transparent with you. And that's why it's important. Don't let kids have that leeway. But this teacher's a great lady. And there was times to where I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go check in, and then I'm going to go do something for a few minutes. Then I'll come back a little bit later. Mm-hmm. But one day I checked in, went down the street, got a big old box of breakfast tacos, brought them back. She was like, Rob, I got to write you up. You can't be skipping class. And I had already done all my work. That's why I did it. I mean, I had great grades in that class, and I'd already done all my work. And she goes, I got to give you detention. And I said, but I've got some breakfast tacos for you. She shook her head, says, don't ever do this to me again. I didn't get detention that day.
You didn't?
But I brought her breakfast tacos, man, so it worked out.
I had similar experiences. There was a time that, when I went to school, I was 18 my senior year, so I could sign myself in and out of school. Imagine that.
Wow.
It was great. I still went to school most of the time. I mean, there was this one incident where I skipped first period because I was hauling cattle to the auction barn on a Monday morning. And the teacher, I walked in with a little slip, right at the end of the class. Well, did you get those cattle hauled this morning? I said, yes, ma'am, I sure did.
Love it, man.
Oh, she was a great lady. She would ask me to do favors for her, like, hey, can you go to the feed store and get some dog food and take it to my house?
Yeah, sure. No problem.
No problem.
Could you give me an A on that test?
Oh,
Sure.
I had a 99 average for the entire year in the class. It was just one of those, required classes at the time, and it wasn't very difficult, so.
There you go. Jason Thompson giving you his backstory. And you know what? Now you're going to have dreams that maybe I always have dreams that I didn't graduate high school because of something that I did. You're going to have that dream tonight now.
No, I'm not going to have that dream tonight.
I'm just kidding, man.
No.
Hey, Rick Boning, by the way, chimed in a little bit ago during the break. He said that we went to the state capitol with the chamber, and those of us with the CHL were able to bypass the long line of people waiting to get in and saved a lot of time.
Yes, that is true, and I do cover that in my license to carry course of where you can and cannot carry your guns with your license.
So appreciate that chiming in. We looked at the National Day of, and there's not really a whole lot going on today. Only two of them that we wanted to highlight. Two that I'm not even really, one of them for sure that I'm not a fan of. National Taffy Day.
I'm not a fan of taffy. My wife loves taffy. My grandmother loved saltwater taffy, which was great if we ever went somewhere. They had some saltwater taffy or taffy. We could pick some up for Graham, and she would be happy.
It's become a favorite souvenir of many vacationers. Mm-hmm. I didn't know this. So there's this whole write-up on nationaldaycalendar.com about taffy. Not really interested, but you know what? 1895 was some of the original history. For all you taffy lovers out there today,
today's your day.
Today's your day. You've been waiting all year. Taffy. Here you go.
Can you even find it in Huntsville?
I don't even know where to get taffy anymore. That Laffy Taffy. I used to eat that stuff when I was a kid.
But most of the time, it's in those more tourist set up locations where people go to travel and look at stuff. You don't really see that in the local grocery store.
Today also is National Lucky Penny Day today. Now, this is not bad. It's years ago, a penny was able to buy something. Today, due to inflation, the penny doesn't really buy much of anything. In fact, I've heard that the metal costs more than the face value of the penny to begin with.
It does. What is it? I thought I read something. It's like 8 or 9 cents is what it costs to actually manufacture a penny.
Yeah, it says the metal value and cost of minting pennies exceeded their face value. Many nations have even stopped it completely, and they're trying to end the routine of using pennies. I haven't used pennies in a long time. With all the currency now that's just on a card, or digital, it's
Yeah.
It's a little bit easier.
Well, I still
but
collect my change. That's my savings account for vacations.
I was sitting here thinking if the cost is increased, now you'll go to jail for this, it's a federal crime. But I was like, just gather up all the pennies and melt the copper down. But you'll get in a lot of trouble for that.
That's defacing American currency.
Do you remember back in the day, the dollar bills? Someone would put where'sgeorge.com, stamps.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah,
you could track the money. Mm-hmm. Technically, and if you never heard of it, it was cool. You'd see a dollar bill or $20 bill, $100 bill. It'd say where'sgeorge.com. It was a website. It's probably still, I'll pull it up right now and see if it's still there.
It up, see if it's still there.
But what was cool is you could put in the serial number. Yeah, there it is. It's still there. Mm-hmm. You could put in the serial number of the money and determine where that dollar has traveled. Show it on a map where it started and how. The thing is, and what's funny is, technically that's illegal because you're defacing.
Right. Anytime
money.
you alter the treasury note.
And people are still using it. I have not seen a Where's George bill in a long time, but there must be enthusiasts because 3,004 bills have been entered in the system today. And in total, 314 million bills have been entered into the system over the years.
Interesting.
So anyways, there's your little wisdom for you that doesn't matter.
Maybe people know now that exists, those that are enthused with it, and they just hop on there and put the number in.
Yeah.
That way they don't have to deface the money anymore. Who knows?
We had Lisa on earlier today, and I love all you guys, but if that's your hobby, maybe consider helping out CASA. If you got time to enter bills in the website,
maybe you could be an advocate.
Maybe you can be an advocate.
I mean, they're 10 short. They need some guys, so maybe someone out there that's watching or listening to us this morning, maybe check it out. Maybe this is something for you to do.
There you go. And Lisa, by the way, said she saves change for quote-unquote mad money on vacation. So there you go. Lucky Penny Day and Taffy Day. That's how we'll end it today, Jason.
There we go.
I've got some pennies and some taffy I'll hook you up with later.
Oh, you're going to hook me up with some taffy?
Well, hey, friends, as always, thanks for joining us. Been a fun one here this morning. Good to have you back, Jason. Appreciate you hopping on.
I'm happy to be back.
And we got more coming your way the rest of this week. So we do have an availability if you're a nonprofit this week. We've been reaching out. We did have one cancellation. And so if you'd like to hop on the show this week as a 501c3 or 501c6 for that matter, whatever your nonprofit status is, we'd love to hear from you. All you got to do is email us hello@hellohuntsvilletx.com. Be sure to check out the website also for upcoming news, events, and much more information. We always work hard to highlight those nonprofits in our community, such as CASA. We appreciate, again, Lisa being here this morning.
Maybe we can get her back, after the Christmas in July, or somebody let us know the turnout for it.
Yeah, that'd be great. So, Lisa, you're welcome back anytime. Just feel free to reach out. We'll reach out to you.
And if you don't have time to come on the show this week, there's always next week or the week after.
There is.
We'd love to have you guys out here. Come talk to us.
Hey, this show's going nowhere. I mean, this is, Bridget and I, when we came back to Huntsville, saying, what are we going to do to make it work? And HelloHuntsvilleTX.com was kind of what transpired. And so we're here to serve the community, to lift up the community along with you guys. It's not my show. It's our show together, and we want you to feel like you're a part of it. So I mentioned yesterday, too, the podcasts are starting to take off. I've got 15 previous episodes archived.
Really?
And so working on getting caught up, because today we're on episode 31. It's technically 32. I did have 2 episodes with the same number that I found out. But we'll still call it episode 31. And by the end of this week, we'll have every single episode archived, so you can always go back on the go and listen through all your major podcast platforms. Already starting to get a lot of interaction on that as well. And then after we get caught up every day, I'll make sure that we get the latest episode on there. So we'll be caught up and ready to roll, man.
That's awesome, man.
Jason, appreciate you, brother. Been a fun one today. Jason Thompson, Guardian Defense. Check them out online, guardiandefensellc.com. And please make sure to sign up for those classes coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend. And let's support local business. Friends, as I end every single broadcast, I want to remind you this morning that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. Until next time, we'll see you. And, hey, get out there, make a difference, have a great day.
Yes, get out there, everyone.
We love you, Huntsville. Good morning, God bless. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.